Joining us today on our Book Talk segment, great to welcome a man who has helped edit and put together a very interesting book. It is called Andrew Carnegie's Mental Dynamite, How to Unlock the Awesome Power of You. It's edited and annotated by our guest, James Whittaker. It's based on the famous book, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And James joined us today by telephone. And James, good to talk with you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Doug. Thanks so much for having me.
You also did the film, right? I know you did a companion book, but you also put a film together about this, didn't you, a few years ago?
That's right. We've got Think and Grow Rich, The Legacy, the film, Think and Grow Rich, The Legacy, the book, and now Andrew Carnegie's Mental Dynamite. So it's been a busy few years, Doug.
I know, that's great. I read that book, the original Napoleon Hill, I think sometime in high school. I think I might have gotten it as a present, and I really enjoyed it. And been around. I didn't realize it was around as long as it was. 1908 was the original time that Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie, he was a famous billionaire industrialist, they got together, right? That was written that long ago, or put together started that long ago.
That's right. That was, yeah, absolutely. That was the conversation that inspired what became the Law of Success, and then also Think and Grow Rich, which was actually released in 1937. So that was really the smaller, condensed version of what Hill had learned from Carnegie, as well as, more than 500 people of the most successful people who ever lived, to really condense that into Think and Grow Rich, which was 13 achievement principles. And I mean, whoever gave that to you in high school was a wonderful gift.
Probably my parents gave it to me. We always got books for gifts, so it was good.
I also read it as a teenager, but I think I was too young to receive the messages that were in there. So it was only in my early 20s when I went back and revisited it, and was actually through Jim Rohn, who I still love Jim Rohn, and it was only once I realized that Jim Rohn was greatly inspired by Napoleon Hill. That's what led me right back to Napoleon Hill, who's indeed the godfather of the personal development field, and learned everything that he knows predominantly from Andrew Carnegie.
I was going to say, he was the first, I guess, in the 20th century, right, to write. I don't know if anybody wrote books like that in the previous century, in the 1800s, but he was the first one to do it in the 1900s, I guess, huh?
Yeah, certainly as far as packaging something that anyone around the world could apply, irrespective of their starting point, that would give them a proven formula to make the right decision out of the hundreds of decisions that we're faced each day. And I mean, more than 120 million copies of Think and Grow Rich have been sold, which is just a testament to the results. And I mean, the people in Think and Grow Rich, The Legacy, and Andrew Carnegie's Mental Dynamite, all of these people I have interviewed have had their lives profoundly changed from applying the principles that are in these books.
Yeah, talk a little bit about, you mentioned, you had read the book as a teenager and a little bit later on. As an adult, how did you get involved in this particular project? I know you did the film and the previous book, but how did you get involved overall in it?
Well, we knew that it was interesting times going on for the world, but what we tried to do was really remind people that although it feels really different at the moment, that there's actually timeless principles that have been working to solve all of these problems that the world has faced for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So if people are aware of what those lessons are and have the inspiration and the blueprint, then they can apply that right now and they will achieve whatever they want. So a lot of this stuff is cyclical, and it's a reminder of these timeless lessons that we are so much stronger than we know. We have much more power and much more is in our control than what we think, rather than trying to, be a spectator and watch the show go on. This book is really an invitation for the reader to engage with life, whether you're in a pandemic or anything else that's going on in the world.
Yeah, I think the lesson from the book, if you take something out of the original book, and in this particular one, there's certain fundamentals, but you got to do the work too. You can't just wait for it to come to you. There's mental and there's physical work you got to add to it, right? You just don't sit around and hope something happens.
That's right, Doug. I'm actually really happy you brought that up. And one of the biggest misconceptions about Think and Grow Rich is people are focused too much on the thinking and not so much on the doing. So, of course, reinforcing basically your intent through that consistent, purposeful action every day. I mean, that is absolutely essential, and anyone who has gotten to where they need to be has got that way through applying that consistent, purposeful action. I mean, there's the old saying, easy come, easy go. So, yeah, any big achievement is worth the training and the work that it takes to get there.
And even today, obviously, despite the technology, which in a sense makes starting your own business maybe a little bit easier. Back then, obviously, there was no technology like that. You just had to build a building or whatever your product was or whatever your service was, and kind of work that way. But today, probably in a sense, it's a little easier, right? To get at least to start a business.
Easier, far 1,000 times easier. I mean, anyone with an internet connection you don't even need to physically hold the product. There's different things like drop shipping where you can sell someone else's product, but you actually need to have some expertise that you can offer first of all. So I think one of the most important fundamental skills that anyone can have and indeed should have is the ability of relationship. So understanding that communication. If you can train yourself to be good at understanding the problems people are struggling with and then creating solutions that solve those problems, then it doesn't matter what industry you're in, that is a way that you can make money despite, any economic unrest or negative economic cycles that we're in.
Yeah. And again, you talk about it in your book, and he talked about, obviously, people fail, but I think most people fail because they give up too soon, right? Isn't that one of the main reasons?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, people giving up too early. It's such a sad state of affairs because what they're doing is reinforcing a negative thought pattern that you've basically created a bad habit. You've gone the wrong way. And there's also people who some of the people on the flip side who have that awareness that there's something more for them, they end up running harder on the treadmill rather than taking a step back and saying, you know what, where do I want to go? What obstacles am I going to face that I can neutralize? What people can get on my mission that I can make their shared mission? And what work do I need to do today, tomorrow, and the next day to get there? I mean, it's a pretty simple linear formula once you actually have that blueprint and understand what needs to be done. But people don't take that fundamental step of knowing exactly what it is that they want and then really recruiting other people to help achieve that mission together.
Yeah, get help from other people that are experts in their field, right, to help you. And that's important.
Huge. Every single opportunity that I have had in my life is as a result of relationships that I've had. And that's, the ninth principle of the original Think and Grow Rich is the power of the mastermind. It says we don't need all the answers ourselves. We can get other people to basically help us get to where we want to be. And any leader or any sporting champion or any person who is at the top 0.1% of their field, they're experts at getting other people to really create that shared mission rather than an individual mission.
I know everybody knows what we've been going through the last 6-7 months right now, but are you optimistic, James? I would think, in a sense, this may turn out to be a great opportunity for people once this, really clears up. I know states are coming back. We're doing pretty good in Florida. I don't know where you are, but do you think this is going to turn into a great opportunity once things get back to somewhat normal?
I absolutely do, and I think we've actually entered a little bit of a new normal at the moment. So I'm based in Los Angeles in California, so things are still a little... things are still a little cautious over here, and certainly in Australia, there's one state in particular in Australia where I'm from that's, they're trying to navigate their way forward because they've had a lot more cases and deaths than other people. But I'm extremely optimistic, not just about America, but I think humanity in general. There are so many great companies that have come out of America, and almost all of those companies are birthed during times like we're in now. So one of the quotes that we talk about in Andrew Carnegie's Mental Dynamite is that necessity is the mother of invention. So if you find yourself where your back's against the wall, this is the time when your brain can be unleashed and imaginative enough to create the best solution. So, think about where you want to go and be resourceful and resilient and make it happen. That would be my big advice for people.
Andrew Carnegie's Mental Dynamite, How to Unlock the Awesome Power of You is the title of the book. And again, James Whittaker has edited this thing together. Of course, he's done the film, Think and Grow Rich, and the legacy and the book with it as well. But James, give out your website or wherever you'd like to direct people to get more information on the book.
Yeah, people can go to my website, jameswitt.com, JamesWhitt.com. They can also listen to my podcast, Win the Day with James Whittaker, available everywhere, and also grab a copy of Andrew Carnegie's Mental Dynamite on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and anywhere you find books.
Great. We'll also put a link on our website. But James, real pleasure talking to you. I feel much more positive now that I have talked to you, so hopefully we can do it again. Thanks for being with us.
I love that, Doug. Thank you so much.
I'm Stan Brock. 30 years ago, I formed Remote Area Medical to help people overseas. But then we found generations of families in America isolated by poverty from the health care they need. Together, we can take dental, vision, and medical help to 1 million adults and their kids, right here at home in the United States of America.